I searched every corner of Reddit to find the most insane, unbelievable, cheating stories. And trust me, today's selection, it's pure chaos. Keep watching because it's only going to get messier and messier and messier. Let's dive in. How do I get over my boyfriend finding other women attractive? Here's the story. I, a 23-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, a 25-year-old male, John, for a year. I like to think I'm pretty laid back in our relationship, but I have an issue with the videos he sends me. Sometimes, multiple times a day, he will send me videos, reels and TikToks of conveniently attractive women pandering to male audiences. These videos often feature women dressing like cat girls and meowing, saying phrases like "good boy" or "do blank for mommy," or acting feral in a very male gaze way. The comments are mostly men losing their minds over the content. John sends them to me saying, "Why does this turn me on?" or "I agree with the comments," which often include borderline harassing remarks. I want to be clear. John can find whatever he wants attractive, as long as it's legal, but I find it disrespectful to me and our relationship to flaunt it. I would never send videos of men who look nothing like him and thirst over them. It's been hurtful because I don't want to get mad at the women making the content, but I hate how much weird, borderline fetish content he sends me. I feel guilty because I'm starting to harbor negative feelings towards these girls who are just working the system and taking advantage of lonely men. But I don't understand why John would turn to this content. I do so much for him, even participating in kinks and fetishes I wouldn't normally consider. It's all consensual. It makes me feel awful, and he doesn't seem to understand why I'm so annoyed. The one time I mentioned having a crush on a fictional character, he got moody and I had to apologize. Not that I have an issue with apologizing if I do something wrong, but it shows the double standard he has between us. Should we just break up, or is it worth trying one last time? Edit. A lot of people are suggesting John might be hinting at things he wants me to do by sending these reels. And while I don't necessarily disagree, meowing and wearing cat ears would be the tamest thing he's asked me to do. So that doesn't make sense to me, but I appreciate the helpful comments. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. Many people feel that John's behavior is a clear sign of controlling behavior and disrespect. One user shared, "This isn't the behavior of someone who cares about you or your feelings and boundaries." They think this constant sending of videos is a major red flag. Others focused on the idea of relationship boundaries. One person said, "Your partner is sending you videos of women daily, totally off the charts." They argue that this kind of behavior crosses a line and shows a lack of respect for the girlfriend's feelings. There were also comments about the double standard, especially when John got upset over Sarah having a crush on a fictional character. One commenter said, "The one time I mentioned a crush, he got moody and I had to apologize." And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 80% believe that John's actions are signs of disrespect and controlling behavior, with many saying that this relationship might not be healthy. However, 20% think that John might not fully understand how hurtful his actions are and suggesting having an open conversation to work through these things. It's clear that most people feel like this relationship needs some serious reflection. If you've ever faced a situation like this, let us know in the comments how you handled it. Your experience might help the OP. At the end of this story, you'll never look at bachelor parties the same way again. My husband went to a bachelor party where escorts stayed at the villa. Here's the story. Last weekend, my 35-year-old female husband, 38-year-old male, went to a bachelor party in Cancun. The best man booked a private villa out of the main city, isolated, fully staffed, and right on the water with plenty of rooms for everyone. My husband didn't want to go because we'd been so busy with work and other trips this summer. He told the groom and the best man he was out, but they insisted he go, saying they couldn't imagine it without him. So, the best man bought him a non-refundable plane ticket, saying he wasn't taking no for an answer. Leading up to the trip, my intuition was screaming that something about this wasn't right. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I had an uneasy feeling. The week of, the best man sent the itinerary, which included dress attire details like bring your best swim trunks like you're dressing to impress at a Vegas pool party. and planned theme nights such as Black Light Night and Miami Vice Night. My husband and I laughed, thinking it was silly to dress to impress at a sausage fest, but we figured the best man was just trying to make it fun since it was such a small group, but my intuition kept bothering me. The afternoon they arrived at the villa was fine. My husband sent me photos and a video walkthrough of his bedroom showing the view from his balcony overlooking the ocean. We texted about work stuff, we have a business, but later that night, I could tell something was different based on the tone of his texts. I figured they were busy, didn't text him anymore, and try not to read too much into it. The next morning, my husband posted a photo of the breakfast table at the villa on his Instagram story. Nothing special, just a pretty view of the pool and ocean in the background. Later, I looked at the villa's Instagram and saw they reposted a tagged video from a woman's story. It was her and two other women eating breakfast, and as she panned over the table, I noticed a decoration specifically set up for the bachelor party. I double-checked and confirmed it was the same decoration. I went to the woman's profile and looked at her other stories. I saw they had stayed at the villa the night before, dressed up for Black Light Night, partying at the villa, and now having breakfast. That meant they stayed the night there. I admit, I stalked this woman's Instagram the entire day. One of her stories showed her and the women hanging out in the pool with all our husbands in the background. She also posted a photo of them gambling together, and she was sitting right next to my husband. I was able to see another woman's story, and she had her OnlyFans link in her bio, along with her ex account full of explicit content. I lost my mind. I immediately called my husband to confront him. At first, he tried to lie, but then he realized I knew and he admitted it. He said the best man had a surprise after they arrived at the villa. These escorts were staying with them for the entire trip. My husband said he planned to tell me when he got home, but didn't because he feared I'd tell the other wives and the whole thing would explode. I was furious. How could anyone think it's appropriate for strange women to stay there? None of the men are single. The best man put everyone in a position where they were trapped in an isolated villa with escorts and nowhere else to go. Now they have to keep a secret and lie to their wives so they aren't the rat who outs everything. Am I overreacting, or is this insane? My instinct was to tell the other wives, but I wasn't sure if they had given their stamp of approval, and maybe I was a clueless wife whose husband never told her about the plans. My understanding now, based on conversations with my husband since he got home, is that I'm the only wife who knows. Do I tell the other wives? Do I risk hurting the marriages of my friends with the truth bomb? I feel like I'm part of the disrespectful, dirty secret by keeping this from my friends. I'm so sad. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters have to say. A lot of viewers believe the husband is in the wrong for lying to his wife. One comment says he was going to keep lying until you made it clear you knew the truth. Trust is a big deal here. Others think that the best man deserves most of the blame for orchestrating the whole situation. Is the best man loaded? He's paying for 3 escorts for a week all on his own? Some people can't believe the extent of the bachelor party, especially the role that the best man played in it. Finally, there's a big discussion on whether the wife should tell the other wives. Many believe that the truth should come out. One commenter points out, this affects more people than just you and your husband. Everyone deserves to know what happened. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 70% of people think that the wife should spill the truth to the other wives. Honesty is key, even if it causes damage. 15% feel the best man is the real villain here. Only a small number of comments suggest staying quiet, but they're in the minority. Most people are team honest. Everyone wants to know the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. This story is a reminder of how quickly things can turn out of control when trust is shattered. What would you do if you were in her shoes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This might be one of the most bizarre marriage secrets of the year. I found out my husband has been telling his coworkers that I'm his sister. What do I do? Please help. Here is the story. My husband, I'll call him Josh, and I have been together for 6 years, married for 4, and we don't have kids. We have a healthy and communicative relationship, and I love him. He started working at a large accounting firm about 3 years ago, and from what he tells me, he loves it there. He's made a lot of friends and goes out with them for drinks and social events often, and I'm okay with that. I'm introverted, so I've never been interested in meeting his colleagues or work friends, nor have I asked to. I've got my circle of friends, and I'm fine with us having separate friend groups. After what happened yesterday, it only just occurred to me that he has never asked if I'd like to meet any of them or go to one of his work events. A few months ago, I was at a bar with some friends for drinks and a guy approached me. He was with some friends too. He seemed familiar, but I hadn't met him before. He asked me my name, right? I gave him a confused look and he followed up with, "I'm Jake, I work with Josh." I recognized him from photos on Josh's phone. This is where it gets embarrassing. I was socially awkward and struggled to end the conversation, but he kept talking. At one point he said, "It's great that you guys are still so close. I haven't talked to my brother in ages." At the time, I just assumed he was drunk and not making sense, so I ignored it. He started to get flirty, so I turned to my friends and we left. I didn't tell Josh about it, assuming the guy wouldn't even remember talking to me, and I didn't want to make it awkward for Josh at work. But yesterday, I was walking our dog, Monty, to my regular cafe when I ran into an older man who seemed familiar. He said, "Hello, Monty." Monty was excited, so I guessed he was another colleague of Josh's. The man said, "Aren't you a good sister walking his dog for him?" I was so confused, I stumbled and just said, "It's my dog." I didn't correct him and say I'm Josh's wife. I regretted it, but didn't know how to handle the situation. Now, I don't know what to do. I'm wondering if Josh has been telling his coworkers that I'm his sister, but I'm hoping it's just a misunderstanding because we both have brown hair. I'm also wondering if I should ask him about this. I've only told one friend about what happened because it's so weird and embarrassing, and she's ready to go full plot his downfall mode, but I don't want to jump to conclusions and ruin my marriage over something that just could be nothing. I'm going to talk to him today and ask directly why he's telling his coworkers that I'm his sister. I've written down my points to keep the conversation clear, and I hope he has proof that his colleagues know I'm his wife. I'll do my best to stay calm, but I'm nervous. Wish me luck. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. A lot of commenters feel Sarah should confront Josh right away. One comment says, "You need to ask him directly. Don't let it slide. Get the truth." Many people also warned about the trust issue here. One commenter pointed out, "If my husband was doing this, I wouldn't feel safe." What is he hiding? This hits home for a lot of viewers. Some suggested Sarah shouldn't make it a big deal. "Maybe it's just a mistake," said one person. But as you can see, not everyone thinks that's the case. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 70% think Sarah should confront Josh immediately. They feel it's too big of a red flag to ignore. However, 25% of people think it's just a harmless mix-up and that confronting Josh might cause unnecessary drama. Interesting to see such a split. What do you think Sarah should do? Should she confront her husband or leave it alone? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This man was ready to propose until one unexpected lie made him question everything. Stay tuned. My girlfriend told me she was with a friend, but that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. How do I confront my girlfriend about her lie? Here's the story. I'm a 28-year-old male planning to propose to my 26-year-old girlfriend of 3 years. I'm terrible at picking jewelry, so I usually ask her friends for help. For the engagement ring, I consulted her best friend, Justine. Fake name. Justine knows her better than anyone and agrees to help. When my girlfriend went to visit her sister and baby nephew, I invited Justine over to look through catalogs. We decided it would be better to visit a jewelry store. To ensure we had enough time, I texted my girlfriend to ask when she'd be home, pretending I needed to time takeout delivery. She replied that it would be a few hours because she was out shopping with Justine. This shocked me because Justine was standing in my house. We were both confused. My girlfriend often makes spontaneous plans, so under normal circumstances, I wouldn't question this, but it was a lie. When she came home, she acted normal. I played along, but it's been hard to hide how much this bothers me. We ate takeout and cuddled on the couch, but she noticed I was upset. I can't bring myself to tell her why. We've never had trust issues, so this lie is eating at me. I want to confront her, but doing so would mean explaining how I know she lied, and I don't want to spoil the proposal. What should I do? Should I forget it or confront her? This is gnawing at me, and I need advice. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters have to say. Honesty is a best policy. Most commenters suggest that the guy should confront his girlfriend about the lie. One comment reads, "Just say you were hanging out with Justine because you needed help with a gift, so you know she wasn't with her. Keep the proposal a surprise. Some commenters recommend not revealing the proposal plans. Instead, focus on just talking about the lie. One user advises, it's fine just to say that he needed Justine's help with something, which is true. Trust is key. Many believe that if there's no trust, the proposal might not be the right choice. One user says, you don't want to propose to a girl who could be doing you wrong, but also just as bad to sit there and let that lie eat you alive. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 60% of people say that the guy should confront the girlfriend and get to the truth. Trust is the most important thing in a relationship. Around 20% suggest keeping the surprise proposal and not addressing the lie. It's clear. The majority are saying honesty first, but a smaller group thinks a little mystery is okay. What do you think? Would you confront the lie or keep the surprise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. At the end of this story, you will question everything about trust in relationships. My boyfriend has disappeared every weekend for the past 3 years, and I just found out he's been lying to me about where he goes. Here's the story. My boyfriend, 27-year-old male, and I, 24-year-old female, have been together for 3 years. We don't live together, but are close enough to spend a lot of time together. However, it's rare for us to spend a whole day together. When we have, it's been a weekday where our schedules have lined up, no work or class. We've never spent a day on the weekend together. He works as a research assistant while getting his PhD. Every single weekend for the 3 years we've been together, he insists he has work. I realize how foolish I've been, but I trusted him. I trusted that he had worked every single weekend for 3 years. That was until today. I've been studying for finals and it's the toughest it's ever been, so I craved some time with him. Just a day to kick back and relax together. Of course, he said he couldn't because he was working, and I kept quiet about it. But today, I was getting antsy anyway and hoped we could at least spend the evening together. I texted him asking when he thought he'd be back so we could spend the night. He always responds fairly quickly, but this time I waited for a while. After 2 hours, I decided to text a coworker of his who's also a research assistant. Turns out, they didn't have work today. The coworker said they rarely ever have work on the weekends. Rarely ever. Now, I'm sitting here wondering what's going on. I have no idea how to confront him about this. This has been going on for 3 years. If he's cheating on me, he essentially has a second family at this point. I can't think of any other explanation. Is there any possibility besides cheating? How do I confront him about something he's been doing for 3 years? Since he's doing whatever it is tomorrow, should I just drive over to his place in the morning, wait, and then follow him? Has anyone else experienced something like this? Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. Many commenters question whether the relationship is even real given the lack of time spent together, absence of introductions to family or friends, and lack of shared holidays. Someone said, if you have been with him for 3 years and have never spent any time with him on the weekend, you are not his girlfriend. Many believe the boyfriend is leading a double life, possibly with another woman and children, and that his work weekends are a cover for another family. One wrote, the reason he's never spent a weekend with you is because you are the side chick. He's cheating on his relationship with you. The weekends are for his actual girlfriend's, wife, kid. Some suggest that OP should take action by spying on him, hiring a PI, or directly confronting him with a bluff to force a confession. Simply text him, I found out, I'm done, and see what he confesses to thinking you know already. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 60% are convinced that her boyfriend has been lying to her. They believe she's been completely misled for years. 30% think there could be a simple explanation for all of this. It's clear that the comments are leaning towards the idea that something shady has been going on behind her back. So, what do you think? Is her boyfriend hiding something major, or is this just a misunderstanding? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you're like me and love suspicious relationship stories, then this one is for you. I think my husband is cheating on me. meeting up with somebody under the guise of getting me coffee. Here's the story. My husband, 29-year-old male, and I, 24-year-old female, have fallen into an accidental routine on Sunday mornings. I like to sleep in, sometimes until 10 or 11 a.m. My husband is a morning person. Every week, I hear him get up around 7 a.m. to go on a run, return at 7:30 a.m., shower, and do whatever he does for a few hours. Then he goes to a local coffee shop and gets his breakfast. He wakes me up every Sunday at 11 a.m. with coffee and breakfast. It's been like this for over a year. A few weeks ago, I happened to wake up around 9 a.m. My husband was already gone. I checked his location, he has mine too, and saw he was at the coffee shop. I figured he just went early. However, he didn't return until 11 as usual. When he got home, I asked him if the shop was busy or if he stayed to work, and he said no, not really. That was weird, but I didn't say more. The next week, I stayed awake until I heard him leave, around 9:45 a.m. The coffee shop is 10 minutes away, but he didn't come home until 11:10 a.m. I asked again, and this time he had his work laptop. He said he had worked for an hour. Now I'm paranoid and asked to go with him this past Sunday. He said no at first, wanting me to stay in bed, being thoughtful and not nervous. When I persisted, he got mad. I insisted, and he eventually complained and said fine. On the way there, he sent several texts with his phone turned away from me. Am I being crazy, or does this sound like cheating? I don't want to accuse him, but I can't shake this horrible gut feeling. How do I even approach this? Update. Because of these comments, I waited 2 weeks and then asked my sister to spy on my husband. I know how that sounds. She was down for it. For context, my husband and I live in a big city with apartments above places like this coffee shop. My sister went and said he didn't notice her, but wasn't doing anything suspicious. He got coffee, sat down, and scrolled on his phone for a while. A barista spoke to him, but she said he seemed more annoyed than anything. He sat there for about an hour and then left. So that's it. I think I was overreacting. Sorry for the underwhelming post. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. The overwhelming majority of commenters agree that following him secretly is the best way to determine if he is cheating. Many suggest waiting a few weeks to lull him into a false sense of security before trailing him. Someone said, let the routine seem back to normal then. Go spy on the third Sunday. Many commenters stress the importance of collecting solid proof before making accusations. They suggest checking phone records, tracking messages, or even hiring a private investigator. Time to look through his phone. He won't be honest with you because he didn't want you to go so badly. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 70% of commenters agreed with the wife's gut feeling, saying his behavior was suspicious. They felt like his reaction to her wanting to join him raised red flags. About 20% thought she was overthinking and suggested she give him the benefit of the doubt. Trust or investigate? The debate is heated. What would you do in this situation? Let us know in the comments. This is the only feel-good gaming story you need to hear today. I am secretly my boyfriend's live stream viewers. Here's the story. My boyfriend has just started streaming and seems pretty excited about it. He hasn't bought a full setup yet, but streams whenever he can. I've streamed briefly myself and know how hard it is to get viewers. To help him out, I open multiple private browsers on my laptop, work laptop, and phone. This way, I can have his stream going and it counts as multiple viewers. When he saw 4, he was thrilled. It's only 4 viewers, but he was so happy. There's little in this world right now that causes that genuine happiness and expression. I sit on the other side of the couch with volume down on all devices, pretending I'm doing schoolwork. Edit. Wow, I appreciate the kind comments. I haven't shared his link because the purpose of this post was to get something off my chest, not to farm subs. I believe he can do it on his own, and I've already shared it with friends and family. I also don't want him to find out. He plays Warzone and Vanguard, so maybe you'll come across his stream on Twitch in the future. I give him 4 viewers, not 1,000. This is something I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Please don't tell me I copied and pasted. I've got no reason to do that. Also, thanks for the awards. I'm fairly new to Reddit and enjoy this community. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. Many people found the story funny, imagining what would happen if the boyfriend found out. One commenter joked, All 4 of them, babe? This made me laugh. Movie material. A lot of viewers are praising the OP for being supportive, like this. The great thing is people are more likely to watch him if he's got a few viewers, so you are helping out. Someone even shared their own experiences. As someone who no one watches, I appreciate you. And now, let's reveal Reddit's opinion. 60% of the comments are super supportive of the OP's actions. They think it's sweet and thoughtful. About 20% are a bit skeptical, wondering how the boyfriend would feel if he knew the truth. It's clear that people are divided on whether this act of kindness could end up causing problems, but it's certainly a gesture that shows how much she cares. Do you think a cute lie can be proof of love? Drop your thoughts in the comments.